The Bible tells us to know our enemy, and in this video I will be discussing an update as to where we are headed as a general public. This video references the United States more frequently, but I just want to say that it's applicable to every nation of this world. And quickly, I'd like to mention for those of you to share my content or this video on social media due to the fact that I have been banned from various social media websites for the content that I post. And speaking of banned, I also have been severely censored, so this video is a reproduction and updated version of a video I did in March regarding the social credit score and how we are losing our liberties, but as it seems, we aren't just losing them, we're forfeiting them due to various different scapegoats that I often make reference to on this channel. These scapegoats, excuses, created problems for created solutions, orders out of chaos, however you want to say it, have been circulating in history since the beginning of time, all to reach the one and only Luciferian goal of creating, establishing, and scorching into society a new world order and a one world government or power. The first world government, as mentioned before in my Origins of Paganism video, was with Nimrod and the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was erected with the hopes of Nimrod taking God's place after the Great Flood with Noah. Nimrod built the Tower of Babel and imposed a one-world language in order to better control the people following him. God, however, saw what Nimrod was doing and confused the language of all Nimrod's followers to a point where no one could understand each other, as well as understanding the rising propaganda as Nimrod pretending to be the one true God. Its importance is so great that it is mentioned in the Bible more than 250 times. Now, the reason why I mentioned this again was to show you all, in this current year of the early 2020s, is the Luciferian goal will forever be and always was a one-world government, religion, and power over the people. This will continue to play its cycle over and over again until it's complete. Now, the word world domination or control has many synonyms, and when we read various articles, tabloids, or even see new trends and rollouts of new regulations to travel, purchase, or even be employed, we have to be mindful of the words that are synonymous with control, such as communism, socialism, sustainability, climate change, and sickness. All of these terms are both scapegoats and umbrella terms synonymous with the main goal of the Luciferian agenda that goes against our one true creator of this earth for one world government and total control, where humans become cattle. They even told it to your face. Remember the phrase, herd immunity? Yep, cattle. Now, we can make this video very long or very short, so of course I will make it as concise as possible, but some of the ways, although there are many, to which they are rolling out their agenda further are through what the World Economic Forum calls a common trust network. This is where they will roll out and have been rolling out new guidelines and regulations to travel or work using companies such as Clear and Common Pass. The World Economic Forum even goes into great detail explaining that the current forms of identification and verification that we have can be easily forged without set health information, face scans, and iris scans in order to live and function in everyday life. Take a look at what they posted on their website. Speaking of scapegoat and synonymous terms and words that we see pretty much include all of these words here on the Common Trust Network under the World Economic Forum's website, such as transparency, sustainability, as I mentioned before, flexibility, inclusivity. I mean, all these words honestly will fit the definition. Not to mention that all of these come from the phone that you're glued to the hip and other digital wallet apps, which are ever increasing. I will do a video on the digital wallet and digital currencies very soon. It's already pretty much implemented. It's just a matter of, are you going to accept the beast system or are you not? And this is where we will all be divided in 2021 and years to come. Now, all of this brings together the same evidence and predictions I presented prior to the global sickness event we're all experiencing. And as I predicted, and those of you who have been following me for a while know exactly which videos I'm referencing to. And if you are new, feel free to join my Patreon to view them. But in that video, I stated how all of these events need to trigger a solution, which essentially is a social credit system, without calling it social credit. Of course, the USA isn't under the same rule as China, but shortly follows their actions after they have implemented them under different names and scenarios in the United States, especially when it makes the elite salivate that there could be newer and increasing ways to have the public forfeit liberties in the name of better health, better climate, civil rights, natural disasters, and much else. As I've mentioned before, all of these plans were discussed several times for several years, including in the Iron Mountain Report, which I got many requests to do a thorough video on, which is coming. I actually just finally got the mail for 4 separate forms of reading material to complete my research. And I have also spoke about the plans like this in previous videos from different legal documents and has since then been taken down, even in the form of orchestrated alien invasions. Now, CV-19 is the perfect catalyst to enact more control and enable the social credit system without using its infernal name. It's part of the beast system, digitalizing and tracking every move the herd makes. And the herd is you. And this will be implemented in currencies and even the sewer systems as well, which I did a separate video on my Patreon, if you want to find out more about that technology as well. For those of you who don't know the social credit system, it's a means to track an individual and control where they are allowed to go, with whom they are allowed to spend their time, and how they are free to spend their time. If they do things such as speak against the government, don't conform to rules and practices, felons or deemed useless to society, among other things, they will have a very low social credit score, therefore not allowed to travel, partake in various activities, including social activities, even with family, or even purchase certain items from the store. And again, China also pays using face and eye scanning.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points, keeping track of everyone's spending habits. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. But he only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
Doesn't this sound strikingly similar to those companies such as Common Pass and the Common Trust Network or Clear, as mentioned earlier in this video? Now, of course, this is not mandated. So many people who are trying to enter this community, the truth community or conspiratorial community, whatever space I guess I'm in and some others are in, without doing their research and constantly fear-mongering the public and telling and using all these videos saying that it's forced and it'll be forced, but it really isn't. You have a choice. You always have a choice. And honestly, the people in the truth community who are making you feel like you don't have a choice are just contributing to the same nonsense. You always have a choice. Never let anyone make you feel like you do not have a choice. It is your life. It just so happens that there is an illusion, a very strong illusion that'll make you feel like you don't have a choice, because this is how hard they will make it seem. This is the exact same concept with the masks that I talked about, and if you want more reference to these topics that I'm mentioning, watch my Vaccine is Not the Mark of the Beast video. It will bring a clearer explanation. All in all, I want you guys to be aware of these new technologies and rollouts that they are pursuing aggressively. 2021 will be a very interesting year. Will you cross that line and enter the beast system? Or will you stand your guard and make changes and reject and refuse to forfeit even more liberties? This is the question we all must ask and prepare ourselves for this coming new year, which is exactly why I posted this video now. Of course, there is always so much more to talk about, but as always, we have to keep these videos a decent length. Which side will you choose walking into this new year? My goals for this new year is to continue to grow with God and know His true word, and refuse to enter into any beast system, and continue my learning and research with all of you in the Obasi Posse. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for supporting me through all of the ups and downs this year has stuck me with, including the censorship and banning me and all these other things, especially with my Patreons, who really make all of this content and research possible by allowing me having time to do it and supporting it and making me feel like it's worth something and to keep going. Please consider supporting me on Patreon for less than a cup of coffee a month so I can continue this research. I do wish all of you nothing but the best for this upcoming year and can't wait to grow with all of you even more. Much love and God bless, and thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for all my future upcoming videos. Happy New Year!